When I first started working in technology, there was this understanding: young people know tech, old people don't know tech, men know tech, women don't know tech. That, thankfully, has changed quite a bit. Tech has kind of moved to this level of accessibility where it doesn't matter how old you are or young you are or even what your background is. As long as you're able to build your knowledge of technology, you can get there. We do assume that younger people don't have to be taught how to use a computer because they just know. Older people who didn't grow up with technology, we just assume that they don't understand technology, and the young people who did will always understand technology and they will know how to do all the basic things on a computer innately. Don't confuse innate ability with good user interfaces. The reason a lot of younger people can pick up on technology seemingly faster is because our understanding of design for how people interact with things has come a long way. I had many people say that, why do you even have to talk to these students about how to use technology, how to connect their computer to Wi-Fi? You should spend your time working with the older people and teaching them to use technology because they're the ones who struggle with it. I had the benefit of maturing with technology and being able to see a lot of these things change and happen. But a lot of my peers, they might know how to use a computer, they know how to use Google, but they don't know how to build a computer. I didn't innately get this ability. It was something that over time, I just happened to be a lot of times in the right place at the right time. I used floppy disks. That has helped my understanding of technology because I had to use basics, what things were like before we really were using mice for everything on the screen. Since I've grown up with technology, I ended up learning a lot about it. I have many peers who are the exact same age as me who don't have this knowledge. The reason I got good at technology, I learned the basics of technology. We have seen this shift in kind of the digital divide. You had people of the millennial generation, their parents knew technology enough to get them up and going. They had what I like to call a healthy fear of technology. I know people who break their cell phone seemingly every month. I don't understand this. I've always taken very good care of my smartphone and I don't even use a case. I have a healthy fear of technology because I've watched technology destroy things so many times and I've had to rebuild it so many times, but I'm also very careful with my technology, not throwing around my computers, throwing around my phone. I'm taking care of it because I respect it and I understand what it does. And I think we got to this place where people took it for granted. I just have a phone because I have a phone, and it just became a part of us, so we didn't really respect the technology as much because it was just something everyone had and it's very accessible to get. We stopped teaching respect for technology and we kind of started saying, well, you need a cell phone, so if they break it, I guess we'll buy them another one. I remember at the college seeing this shift of students coming in who did not know anything about how to use their computer. They would come in and drop their computers on the desk and say, get the internet on it. Get the Wi-Fi. I need Wi-Fi. Did you try? No. Do you know what the network is called? Yeah. Okay, why didn't you try to connect to it? Well, you can do it. I don't do it. The technology scares me. I don't do technology. We built a culture of people who don't want to try. I crashed my first computer when I was 2 years old, but now we have unhealthy fear of technology. Maybe that came from their parents were so afraid that their kids would break their technology that they set it all up for them and got it to a certain point and locked everything down and said, okay, don't do anything besides the thing I tell you to do. Only click on that. Never do that. Never do that. Never do that. Undermining a lot of their knowledge. When I was at the middle school and I was trying to teach how to write a bibliography and cite information, where'd you get this image from? Google. Okay, but where'd the image come from? Google. No, you cannot cite Google for that image. Well, that's where I got it. Citing Google for that image is like citing the window for the grass. Is the window responsible for that grass? You're going to cite the groundskeeper. The window showed you the grass, but the window isn't responsible for the grass. The source for this is the site that you're pulling it from. So you need to go to that source and find where that's from. And I had teachers tell me the assignment is not for them to get good at learning how to cite things properly. The assignment for them is to just write a bibliography. We're not concerned about the accuracy of the information. So you want them to learn how to do it incorrectly. You want to give them an incorrect view of how to do this thing because it's not convenient for you, undermining a lot of their knowledge. Don't assume that because someone is younger that they know more about technology. Don't assume that because someone's older that they don't know something about technology. Don't assume that because you have a certain level of knowledge that the person you're talking to also has the same level of knowledge. I wouldn't go to a mechanic who's my age and assume that they know as much about mechanical stuff as I do because I don't know much about mechanical stuff. He looks my age. I bet he knows as much about fixing a car as I do. I don't want to bring my car to him. Dumb perspective, because that has nothing to do with his background, his training, his knowledge. Don't just assume, especially if you're hiring for a job, don't assume that because someone is young, don't assume that they know how to use tech. Don't assume that because they know how to use social media, that they know how social media works. I know more about marketing and marketing with social media than people that I've run into that are working in a social media marketing position at a company. They were hired because they were young, but the company didn't know any better. Well, this person's young. They might know how to use their own social media, but they might not know a lot about the marketing principles or how to have a voice in social media that's different than their own personal voice. Don't write off people who might be older or not fit your model of what an IT person looks like. They might know more than you think they do, even if they don't look like what you have put in your head